How do you make your enemies fear you? Not by shouting, not with threats, not even by saying a single word. Real power isn't loud. It's a silent force that makes others hesitate, doubt, and fear what they can't predict. It's like standing in front of a wild predator. It doesn't snarl. It doesn't lunge. It just watches, still, silent, calculated. And that silence alone is more terrifying than any roar could ever be. Or think of a chess grandmaster staring at the board, his opponent sweating, mind racing, trying to predict his next move but seeing nothing. That's the power of being unreadable. When people don't know what you're thinking, they fear what you might do next. In this video, we'll break down 7 silent strategies, rooted in ancient wisdom, that create an unshakable presence. Master these, and your enemies won't just respect you, they'll fear what you might do next. Stay till the end, where we will make a step-by-step plan on how to apply this to your life. We put a lot of hours into this animated video, so if you want to support our new channel, please like this video, subscribe and push the notification bell so you don't miss our new videos. Let's begin. Number 1. Master your inner world. Let's talk about one of the most powerful ways to gain control and make your enemies fear you, mastering your emotions. It may sound simple, but in reality, it's one of the hardest things to do. When someone pushes your buttons, when they try to get under your skin, the most natural response is to react, whether with anger, frustration, or defensive behavior. But here's the thing. Showing anger or frustration reveals weakness. When you let your emotions control you, you give your enemy the power to unsettle you. They've won the moment they see you lose control. The real strength, the real power, lies in your ability to remain calm and composed no matter what they throw at you. Nothing unsettles an enemy more than a person they can't provoke. When they try to rile you up and you just stand there, unaffected, it forces them to question themselves. They don't know how to handle someone who isn't emotionally volatile, someone who isn't easy to manipulate. Your emotional control becomes your weapon, and your calmness becomes the thing they fear the most. This is where ancient wisdom comes in. The wise ones knew that the nearer a person comes to a calm mind, the closer they are to strength. Think about that for a moment. Strength doesn't come from the ability to shout, to lash out, or to respond in kind. It comes from the ability to stay calm under pressure, to rise above the chaos around you. Your ability to maintain inner peace in the face of provocation is the ultimate power. Let me share a story. There was a skilled craftsman known for his quiet demeanor. His rival, a loud and boastful man, constantly tried to belittle him, making jokes about his work and his lack of social presence. The rival expected the craftsman to get angry, to defend himself, or to shrink away. But the craftsman did none of these things. He simply continued his work, focusing on the quality of his craft. When the rival made a snide remark, the craftsman offered only a small, calm smile and returned to his task. He did not argue, did not retaliate, did not show even a flicker of annoyance. This lack of reaction was deeply unsettling to the rival. He didn't understand it. His usual tactics failed completely. The craftsman's quiet control over his emotions made him an impenetrable fortress, and his rival, frustrated and disarmed, eventually stopped trying to provoke him altogether. The craftsman's calmness was more powerful than any argument he could have made. Did you know that if you are currently watching this video, you are probably a visual learner? Before we get into the next part, wouldn't it be better if you had an app specially designed for visual learners like you? That's exactly what BookWatch offers. We have animated book summaries of the best non-fiction and Stoicism books like The Daily Stoic, The Obstacle is the Way, and many more. You can watch animated videos like the one you are currently watching and also ask our AI how to specifically apply each book to your life. Check out the BookWatch app in the first link in the description below. Now, let's continue. Number 2. Command respect without sound. Let's talk about the power of maintaining an unshakable presence. There's a kind of confidence that commands attention and respect, but it's not the loud, boastful kind that screams for validation. It's a quiet, powerful confidence, the kind that doesn't need to say a word to be heard. When you walk into a room with this kind of presence, people can feel it. They don't have to hear you speak, but they know you are someone who demands respect. This presence is built on self-assurance, but without the arrogance. Here's the truth. Confidence without arrogance is intimidating. When you know who you are and what you bring to the table, you don't need to constantly prove it to others. You simply are. Your energy, your posture, your movements, they all exude strength, calm, and purpose. The way you carry yourself shows that you're not afraid to take up space in this world. When you stand tall, move deliberately, and occupy your space without hesitation, people around you notice. They start to respect you, not because you demand it, but because they can sense that you don't need to ask for it. Your presence alone is enough. This is where ancient wisdom comes in. The wise ones taught that silence is a source of great strength. Think about that for a second. Sometimes it's not what you say or do, but the quiet confidence in your presence that speaks volumes. Silence doesn't mean weakness, it means control. It means you're so sure of who you are and what you're about that you don't need to fill the space with unnecessary words or actions. The calm, composed individual who commands a room without raising their voice is the person everyone gravitates toward. That is the true power of maintaining an unshakable presence. Consider the story of a respected village elder. He wasn't the loudest voice in the council meetings, nor did he interrupt others. Yet, when he entered a room, a stillness fell upon it. He walked with a steady gait, his gaze calm and direct. When he sat fully, occupying his space with quiet dignity. People naturally lowered their voices around him. They sought his counsel, not because he offered it freely, but because his presence suggested wisdom and stability. He didn't need to assert his authority, it was simply felt. His quiet strength made others pause, consider their words, and treat him with a deference born not of fear, but of deep respect for his inner power. His mere presence was a silent command. Number 3, let your deeds announce you. Let's talk about something that is often overlooked, letting your actions speak for you. In a world full of words and empty promises, it's easy to get caught up in talking about what you'll do or what you plan to achieve. Everyone has big ideas and grand aspirations. But here's the truth. Words are cheap. What truly matters is what you do, not what you say. Your strength, your value, and your character are revealed through your actions, not your claims. The best way to show who you are is by consistently living out your values, not talking about them. When you focus on action, you stop needing to explain yourself. Your discipline, your resilience, and your pursuit of excellence become the loudest thing in the room. Actions don't need validation, they are their own proof. When you are consistent in your efforts, when you demonstrate your strength through perseverance and focus, the world will start to take notice. They will see the results, not hear the excuses or promises. And the best part? Your actions will speak louder than words ever could. People will respect you not because of what you've said, but because of what you've done. This is where ancient wisdom comes in. The wise ones believed in the power of action over words. They understood that true character is forged through the consistent practice of discipline and resilience. The more you show up and deliver, the more others will see your true worth. Words can be manipulated, twisted, and forgotten, but your actions are the undeniable proof of who you truly are. Imagine a farmer known for the abundance of his harvest. Other farmers would boast about their innovative techniques or predict their future yields. But this farmer said little. While others talked, he was in the fields, tending to his crops with unwavering dedication, morning till night, rain or shine. He didn't explain his methods, he simply applied them with diligence. When harvest time came, his fields were the most fruitful. The quality and quantity of his produce spoke volumes about his skill, his hard work, and his character. He didn't need to tell anyone how good he was. His actions showed them. His quiet labor and impressive results earned him deep respect, making others hesitant to challenge his expertise or his quiet authority. His deeds were his most powerful statement. Number 4, remain unmoved by insults. Let's talk about one of the most powerful tools you have in controlling your emotions and maintaining your dignity. Never overreacting to insults. It's easy to get defensive when someone insults you. The natural reaction is to defend yourself, to retaliate, to prove that what they said is wrong or untrue. But here's the truth. Responding emotionally gives power to your opponent. Every time you react with anger or frustration, you hand over your peace and allow them to control how you feel. They know exactly what buttons to push because you've let them see your weak spots. But here's the secret. Indifference is one of the most powerful responses you can give. When you refuse to overreact, when you show no emotional response to their insult, you take back the power. Your indifference makes them question their own significance. It makes them wonder why their words don't affect you, why they can't provoke a reaction. And in that moment, you have already won. You've taken away their control over your emotions, and that leaves them powerless. The more you stay calm, the more you show that their opinion means nothing to you. The best part? It frustrates them because they can't get the rise they were hoping for. This is where ancient wisdom comes in. The wise ones taught us that our emotional state is within our control, not dictated by the actions of others. They believed that the opinions and actions of others are outside our control, and reacting emotionally only disturbs our peace. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you learn to master your responses, you maintain your inner peace and stand above the chaos. Consider the story of a philosopher who was publicly ridiculed by a critic. The critic hurled insults and accusations, expecting the philosopher to become angry or defensive. Instead, the philosopher listened calmly, a faint, unbothered expression on his face. When the critic finished, the philosopher simply nodded slowly and said in a quiet, steady voice, "Thank you for sharing your thoughts." He did not argue, did not defend, did not show any sign of being wounded or angered. His utter lack of emotional reaction completely disarmed the critic, who was left sputtering, his attack rendered impotent by the philosopher's serene indifference. The philosopher showed that the critic's words had no power over his inner state, and that calm non-reaction was far more devastating than any counter-argument. Number 5. Guard what others discover. Let's talk about one of the most strategic ways to protect yourself and maintain control over your life. Controlling what others know about you. In a world where people are always observing, analyzing, and trying to figure you out, it's easy to give away more than you should. Whether it's your weaknesses, your goals, or your insecurities, the more predictable you are, the easier it becomes for others to manipulate or undermine you. The secret is to maintain an air of mystery and control the information that people have access to. When others can't predict your next move, they lose their power to affect you. Here's the truth. The less predictable you are, the harder it is for others to manipulate or undermine you. If people know exactly how you will react, what your triggers are, or what you want, they can use that information to their advantage. But when you control what they know about you, you make it more difficult for anyone to use your own vulnerabilities against you. This doesn't mean you need to be deceptive or dishonest. It means you don't need to share everything with everyone. By keeping some things to yourself, you protect your peace and ensure that no one can manipulate you into making decisions you're not comfortable with. This is where ancient wisdom comes in. A great strategist once advised to appear weak when you are strong and strong when you are weak. Think about that for a second. True strength lies in being able to control the information you reveal to others. If you are always open and transparent, people will know exactly where to strike. But if you withhold some of your thoughts, plans, and weaknesses, you make it much harder for others to get the upper hand. By being unpredictable, you become a challenge to anyone who might try to manipulate or take advantage of you. Consider the story of a merchant who became very successful. In the beginning, he was open about his business strategies and financial situation. Competitors quickly learned his methods and tried to copy or disrupt him. He realized his transparency was a liability, so he changed. He became polite and pleasant, but revealed very little about his actual operations or future plans. When asked about his business, he would offer vague pleasantries or speak only in general terms. He never discussed specific deals or upcoming ventures until they were already completed. This quiet reserve made his competitors uneasy. They couldn't figure out his next move. They didn't know his financial health or his strategic direction. His controlled silence and guarded information made him a formidable and unpredictable force in the market, making others hesitant to challenge him directly because they simply didn't know enough to feel confident in their attack. Number 6. Achieve goals without announcing. Let's talk about one of the most strategic ways to protect your success: making power moves in silence. In a world where everyone is quick to announce their plans, their goals, and their next big move, there's something incredibly powerful about keeping your ambitions private. When you share your next steps, you're giving others a chance to interfere, criticize, or even sabotage your progress. But when you work in silence, your actions speak louder than words, and your results are your true testament. Here's the truth: announcing your next step gives others a chance to stop you. The more you talk about what you're going to do, the more you invite opinions, judgments, and unnecessary distractions. People may try to offer advice, doubt your abilities, or even act as roadblocks, intentionally or unintentionally. By keeping your ambitions to yourself, you take away their power to influence your path. You become a force that is hard to stop because no one knows what you're doing until the results are undeniable. The less noise you make, the more progress you can make without anyone trying to disrupt your flow. This is where ancient wisdom comes in. A wise teacher once said, "Do not explain your philosophy, embody it." In other words, your actions should be the evidence of who you are and what you stand for. You don't need to explain or justify your journey. Let your results do the talking. The more you embody your vision through action, the less you need to say. People will see your commitment, your discipline, and your resilience in your progress, and when they see the results, they'll understand exactly who you are and what you're capable of. Think of a builder who decided to construct a magnificent structure, while others discussed their ambitious projects in the town square, boasting about their designs and seeking patrons. This builder acquired land quietly, gathered materials without fanfare, and began working meticulously, day after day, brick by brick, beam by beam. He didn't talk about the challenges or the progress. He just worked. Months passed, and then a year. Suddenly, people noticed a remarkable building rising on the horizon. It was the builder's project, completed in stunning silence. His finished work was his announcement. It was undeniable proof of his skill, dedication, and vision. Those who had been making noise about their own plans were overshadowed by the quiet reality of his achievement. His silent execution made his success powerful and unchallengeable. Number 7. Be your authentic self. Let's talk about one of the most liberating things you can do for yourself: being unapologetically yourself. In a world where people are constantly trying to fit in, blend in, and seek approval from others, there's something incredibly powerful about standing your ground and embracing who you truly are. When you stop seeking validation and stop pretending to be something you're not, you start to gain a level of respect and admiration that others can't even begin to comprehend. People fear those who don't seek approval. Here's the truth: when you stop trying to fit in, you become untouchable. When you embrace your authenticity and stop worrying about what others think of you, you shift the power dynamic. You no longer seek to please or impress anyone, and that in itself makes you stand out. The people who truly matter will appreciate you for your uniqueness, and the ones who can't handle it will fall away. Either way, you win. By being unapologetically yourself, you stop allowing others to define you. You define yourself, and that's where real strength lies. This is where ancient wisdom comes in. The wise ones believed in embracing one's true nature and acting in accordance with virtue, regardless of others' opinions. They understood that seeking approval from others is a trap that keeps you from achieving true peace and independence. When you stop trying to fit in, you stop being a slave to the opinions of others. Instead, you begin to live in alignment with your own values, and that creates an inner freedom that cannot be shaken. Consider a musician who refused to play the popular tunes of the day. Everyone advised him to conform, telling him he would never succeed if he didn't play what the crowds wanted to hear. But the musician had a unique style, a different rhythm, a sound that was distinctly his own. He listened politely but continued to compose and perform his own music exactly as he felt it should be, without apology or compromise. He didn't seek the approval of the critics or the masses. He simply expressed his true artistic voice. At first, he was met with resistance, but gradually a small group of listeners grew, drawn to the honesty and power of his authentic sound. This group grew larger, captivated by someone who dared to be different, who didn't bend to external pressure. His refusal to conform, his unapologetic expression of his true self, gave his music a profound power that the conforming musicians lacked. His authenticity became his strength, earning him a deep, quiet respect that transcended mere popularity. Here is a simple step-by-step plan to begin cultivating this silent power. Step 1. Start with awareness. For 1 week, simply observe your emotional reactions. Notice what triggers you, how you respond to insults, and how much you feel the need to talk about your plans or seek approval. Don't try to change anything yet, just become aware of your current patterns. Step 2. Practice calmness in small moments. Choose one small situation each day where you typically react emotionally, perhaps a minor annoyance or a slightly critical comment. Instead of reacting, pause, take a deep breath, and consciously choose to remain calm and silent. Practice this small act of emotional control. Step 3. Focus on one action. Today, instead of talking about something you plan to do, choose one small task or goal and simply do it, without telling anyone about it beforehand. Experience the quiet satisfaction of completion. Step 4. Mind your posture and movement. For a few minutes each day, practice standing and walking with deliberate posture. Shoulders back, head level, movement steady. Notice how simply changing your physical presence makes you feel. Step 5. Choose your words carefully. Before speaking, especially when discussing personal matters or future plans, ask yourself, does this really need to be shared? What is the benefit of revealing this information? Practice silence or minimal responses where unnecessary words are usually spoken. Step 6. Embrace one unique trait. Identify one aspect of yourself that you might usually hide or downplay to fit in. For 1 day, allow that trait to be visible or expressed without apology. See how it feels to simply be yourself. Step 7. Reflect and adjust. At the end of each week, take a few minutes to reflect on your progress. What felt challenging? What felt empowering? Adjust your practice for the following week, perhaps focusing more on one specific step or incorporating these practices into different situations. By consistently practicing these small steps, you will gradually build the habits that create an unshakable presence and a quiet, formidable power. It's not about overnight transformation, but about the steady, silent cultivation of inner strength. If you like this video and you want to support our new channel, please like this video, subscribe and push the notification bell so you don't miss our new videos.